Hey, hello. So I'm getting ready to do some buffing. What I'm doing on this is I got the body sprayed of the Trans Am. And with the body done, obviously the doors and fenders are not. But with the body done and winter getting here, I'll go ahead and buff all this. And then I can pretty much assemble the whole car. I don't have to worry about painting separate because it's a solid red. And so you're not going to see any difference in metallics or anything like that. So you can do these in pieces. Doing it in pieces lets you get in and get everything covered real well. Door jambs, around the, everything gets done and covered nice. Same thing on the doors. I'll actually do the inside and around the jambs, let that dry, flip the doors, do the outsides. But what I wanted to show you was, there's plenty of videos on how to buff, so I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to show you what I use on my black cars, my black truck, and this has worked great. So this red is going to be a cakewalk as long as I don't get any burn throughs or trash, all the stuff. But like right now, when you look at the original paint, it's just water. Had just a little bit of orange peel to it. So now that I've sanded it, it's dull and there's no orange peel. See the difference there? Dry that off a little. See that orange peel? There's a little bit right here on the edge where I try to stay off the edges where I'm sanding, but the rest of this is glass smooth. I do that with 800. There's been cars I've done where I've done my first cut with 400. And the thing is, you just have to be patient. But that gets it straight and goes a hell of a lot quicker than starting a 1,000 or 1,500. You'll hear a lot of guys do that. There's a difference between buffing new paint and a cut and polish is different than just buffing a car. That's usually the guys that are telling you that, start with the 1,500. Those are the detailers. They're working on cars that have already been polished and they're just freshening them up. You can do what you want. I've been doing this for 30 something years, 60, 40 years, and this works for me. So after I had the clear on and everybody saw that, here's one little spot that I have not done. And you can see the orange peel. Kinda. And then here you can see where I'm just taking the top off the orange peel. And all what that does is it's made it very straight. And if I had any issues, I can actually use a hard block. But I blocked this thing so many times, it's already straight. You can tell by the reflection of the lights. So I blocked this thing enough times from previous videos. It's straight, so all I did was use the 3M pads. Soak them in water and just wet sand it. Keep lots of water on it. Keep it flowing because you're going to get some buildup and you'll hear it. It'll sound like paper hitting the edge of something. Rinse it off. Once you get a burr or something, piece of dirt, sand under paper, it'll just make big scratches. So that's that. After the 800, I go back. This was about 2 hours worth of sanding, just T-tops and the quarters. So it doesn't take long, but you got to do it 5 times. I'll do it with 800, 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, 2,000, and I might, if I'm in the mood, hit it with 2,500, take 20 minutes and just finish it off. But that's plenty. Going to 2,000 is plenty. Even if I'm doing some touch-up stuff, I can buff out 1,500 scratches. And here's what I use. I have tried over the years, literally hundreds of dollars worth of different things to see what worked. I've tried different pads. I mean, there's a box full. I've tried wool pads. That's what I learned on was wool pads. But once I got to some of these new foam, they work freaking great. So I'm going to show you what works for me. It is super, super easy. And I just let the paint speak for itself when we're done. You've seen the truck. So here is what I use for my first polish. That's this one right here. I use that and a red pad. This is a fast cut. Sorry, this is a fast cut. And honestly, I could do it just with that, and most people wouldn't know that it isn't done. I do that on a Makita sander polisher. I like these. I've used Black & Decker. I've used some others. These work great. They're just balanced good. And this one right here, this is probably 25, 30 years old. Still works. I just bought a backup to have in case I need it. So anyway, back to this. The second time I go around, I use this one. This shows you how much it cuts, heavy cut. And then this is a light cut. After I do the buff with this and put some shine on it, on black especially you can see it, but on these bright colors, you could probably stop there. But you go one step more and go over that with this 205 and then a black pad. The black pads, they're pretty much the same. I don't know if all mine are the same right now. I've got Milwaukee, I've used others, or you could even use a white pad. And if any of these are different, I mean, that seems to be pretty general. They're orange pads, blue pads, they got all kinds of stuff. Just look at what they say about them. This red one was a heavy cut. Black and white are usually medium to light cuts. A blue pad I've got, again, I'll do it because I've got the tools. On my black paint jobs, you always have swirl marks and halos and ghosts and all the stuff they want to call it. And it's hard to get rid of that on black. And I'm telling you, black, we all know it. It's just a booger. I can park it in the paint booth overnight and it's got dirt on it. I don't even know where it comes from. But what I found that takes that out is I'll use either the black pad. I can still use the black pad and that 205. I sometimes will use some of the old stuff I had over here, you know, some optical grade, and they got all kinds of fancy names. I'm just looking for something that's super fine. And then I use this little tool right here. This is my Flex DA. What it does is it works like a regular DA, like your sanding DAs, but it's geared. It's a forced DA. So if you grab a regular DA and just hold it, it'll quit doing the little spinning, right? It'll keep doing whatever. This one's geared. So as it spins, it also goes in little circles, and it's forced that way. So you can try to use a DA on a car. If you're light pressure, it might work for a little while, but this one lets me put the pressure on it. And on my black, it looks like oil has been poured over it because it is halo free, scratch free, everything. And then, let me see if I've got it here. When we go to shows and do things like that, I've actually picked up this, spray that on with a terry cloth, microfiber, and wipe it off, just a quick little buff, and that stuff works freaking great. I've tried Meguiar's Show Finish. I believed in that for years. It don't even come close to what this Mystic does. I think I bought some of that a while back. Not a while back. That wasn't it. Had it in here. Maybe I gave it to somebody. Oh, that was it right there. The Show and Shine and this Meguiar's Final Inspection. Okay, I'm going to give it away. It just don't work for me and maybe what paints I use. And then just to mention that again real quick, the paint I'm using is my clear is a 2021. That's a super high gloss clear from PPG, and it stays soft forever, which is good or bad. I like it on my cars I'm doing because I can come back and buff them later, no problem. On a car you're going to sell, if it's a show car, yes, absolutely. This is the best stuff out there. I've tried tons of things. I've used the 4000s, the 3000s. I've used Sherwin-Williams. I've done them all. This works for me. It's just getting harder to find this stuff. Plus, it's getting expensive as hell. That stuff's like, I got 2021s like $400 or $500 a gallon. It's ridiculously cheap. I'm sorry, expensive. But I've used Omni Clears on cars that I'm going to sell or drive around every day. That works great. So any clear will work. But that's it. It's not a big deal. Secret. That's what I use when I get back to it. I'll actually show you a little bit of buffing, but for now, that's all it's going to take. That way I can start putting everything on the car. I have ordered rear shocks, some rear brake pads, things like that. So literally I can put the whole car together. All this stuff at that point becomes paint the trunk, add the trunk, paint the doors, put the doors on. There's nothing really there. I can damn near build the whole car the way that it is. Still got a lot to do. I mean, still got a lot to paint, but that'll keep me busy. As you can tell, brake lines, everything's parts just stacked to where you don't have room to work, but it's all here. And I've been buying that stuff for a year, so it don't hit me with a few $1,000 all at once. But I just wanted to show you what I was using while I'm sanding. Any questions, drop me a line, and we're gonna get back to getting wet. Bye.